Hey, Narnach here. Welcome to my first vlog in I think something like 2 months. It's been too long, but I've been too busy with other stuff. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on how the channel is doing and how I'm seeing things. So I've got a webcam up, but it keeps desyncing with the audio. So I'm just playing some Diablo in the background now to distract you a little bit. So you can just focus on me speaking, see me every once in a while, but hopefully you won't notice too much that there is a desync in the audio. So yes, just see if I can apply some trickery that way. In a positive way, of course, to enhance your viewing experience. I really need to get myself a new webcam, but felt like doing a vlog right now, and I don't have a new webcam just yet. So, regular watcher. Let's see. Let's go with the update then. Recent state of affairs. So, last vlog was about 2 months ago when my viewer count was in the single digits. I think I had like three viewers or something. It's a pretty low number. Currently, I'm approaching 40 viewers. Maybe by the time you see this, I might actually be at 40. I think the magic number is 39 at the moment. So that's a nice amount of growth. And actually, I didn't really do anything with advertising the channel or promoting it in any kind of way, because frankly, I don't think I'm good enough yet to be shouting from the rooftops that everyone should watch my content. I'm still modeling through, learning as I go, and slowly building up an audience of people who seem to appreciate my content. And for all of you who are watching this and who are part of that audience, I thank you very much for it. Especially for those who've been kind to leave comments or even send me emails to just thank me and just to provide feedback. I really appreciate that. It's getting positive feedback, it tends to make my day. So for those of you who have been doing that, I very much appreciate it. So there's almost 40 of you now, which is nice. I think most of the videos I put out at the minimum get 10 views, which is better than 0. I've learned a couple things in the last couple months as well. One, audio quality is important. I actually got myself a new microphone. The Razer Siren Pro, which sounds a hell of a lot better than my headset. So I'm very happy with that, just to improve the viewing experience for you. Another thing, variety. Playing one series at a time and focusing on it. Not the best of things, since different people enjoy different things. And I enjoy different things as well. I'm not sure if I said it on earlier ones, but I have the attention span of a squirrel on speed. As in, ooh, squirrel. I get distracted by things a lot. I've been playing computer games for over 20 years now. I've seen a lot. I'm a programmer. I analyze things for a living, and dabbled a bit in just some game development, nothing serious. But I do enjoy game development and analyzing games and see what makes them tick. So I tend to play in order to understand what makes a game tick. And by the time I understand how something works, I lose my interest. Unless there's a really compelling story that drives me to continue playing, then there's really not a lot for me left. So once I figure something out, I lose my interest. Which is why I tend to play really quirky builds. Because then you're not doing something that's easy, you're not doing something that's straightforward. You're testing a build, and I get satisfaction out of that, and that keeps me interested. So on Path of Exile, weird damage reflection builds, a Templar with flame totems and zombies, things like that. They keep me interested, and as long as I keep interested, I stay enthusiastic, and as long as I stay enthusiastic, I can actually produce these videos. The moment I lose my enthusiasm, you probably notice, because then my heart's not in it, and that's usually when series tend to end pretty quickly. Let's see. So the last month or so, about a month ago, or maybe even more, I got back into EVE Online. Huge spaceship MMO game. It doesn't have a learning curve, it has a learning cliff. That's just a lot. It gets mocked for being spreadsheets in space. To a certain degree, that's true. But it's a terribly harsh game. It's most of the time people who don't actively engage in the community, they tend to unsubscribe pretty quickly within a month or two. And that has been my experience for the last 9 years. I think I created my account early 2006, and I think every year I've been subscribed for about a month. Sometimes lasting 2 or 3 months, but never longer than that. And most of the time that's because I treated it as a single player game that just happened to have other people in it. Which, doesn't work. In EVE, if you play by yourself, you get bored, you quit. No matter how much you're manipulating the market, playing it as a trading sim, running missions, doing whatever, at some point there's just nothing there. So if you join a corporation, which is basically the EVE equivalent of a guild in other MMOs, they have a community of people to play with. So that's initially what drew me as well. Another big name streamer called Roomba, he did a call to arms because he had started playing as well. I think he's in a similar position as me. He's played before, and he wanted to just do something seriously with it. So he started the corp, he got a bunch of referrals, or he might have even just bought a bunch of in-game currency, whatever. He had a big war chest, and he got war declared on by a couple of big in-game PvP groups that basically make a living out of ganking newbies. That's to put it very simply, that's what they do. And Urumba issued a call to arms for everyone watching the channel with an interest to join up and fight these newbie gankers. Well, that seemed like a good enough reason for my yearly return, so I did. And that was interesting. I just jumped in an hour before the stream. Got ganked on my way there, so that was a good taste of, this is EVE. Interface has changed, you have absolutely no clue where all the buttons are. And by the way, you're dead now, so missed out on that one. But in the week after that, just joined up with the corp, got my stuff sorted, got myself a couple ships, and joined up with the regular crew that was doing PvP every evening. Trying to just do patrols in the area and set things up. Before that, I had always been a Care Bear. So PvE content, never PvP content. Mostly industry, mining, mission running, things like that. So I figured it was a very good opportunity to dive into PvP. So I actively tried to get in on every group that flew out in order to just learn from the more experienced PvPers. And that was fun. I got in on a couple of kill mills. Basically, we had interesting engagements. We all flew really cheap ships. The enemy was flying just ridiculously expensive, blinged out ships, and it was very satisfying when we would get kills, because if anytime we got even just one kill in a day, that's usually made up for 100 losses. It was their shit was just that expensive, so that was really fun to do. But as time progressed, we had after a week we had a second fleet, and we started to notice some things. Basically, Aruma didn't really seem to be around a lot in the corporation, and yeah, then on the Sunday stream, he would more or less just announce on the spot what the strategy was going to be. And there was not a lot of preparation, there was not a lot of planning, but there was also not a lot of information security, so the enemy more or less knew what we were doing before we were. We couldn't really prepare. Advice from veteran players was ignored. On the one hand, can understand Aruma wants to play his thing, but a lot of us got the impression that he was treating it as yet another 4X grand strategy game, where us players basically were just pawns on the board. Works in a 4X strategy game, but in a multiplayer game, that's, I don't know, people don't appreciate it when they feel like pawns on the board and when the advice of experienced players is being ignored. And then when things go wrong, that basically gets validated. So there was a bunch of resentment. So I think before the third stream, a bunch of us basically formed up a new corporation with just the veterans and the people who had been running the PvP fleets every evening, with the idea of doing our own thing. And just now we had a bunch of really cool people that we played with, so that was fun. So we joined up, figured out what we want to do, moved into low-sec, basically a more PvP friendly area than the high security space where we have been before. And yeah, we did some roams, we did some, just generated our own content, and that was fun. We had our own PvP tournaments, had a bunch of things then, but slowly some disgruntlement started there as well. Some people had different ideas of what they wanted to do. Less people started logging on, end of vacation, things like that. So numbers started to dwindle. I tried to step up as well, just to, I was pretty green in the whole PvP department, but I felt like, hey, if no one wants to lead fleets, or if no one is available to lead fleets, because basically we were relying on just one or two people to do it, and when they weren't online or when they had other obligations, nothing happened. So I figured I'd just step up and try to do some content as well, run some fleets. That was fun, learned a lot. Also learned a lot about that I still have a lot to learn, because EVE is basically a very complicated game of rock, paper, scissors, shotguns, lizards, Spock, bazooka, keep on going with whatever beats whatever. It's a very complicated game. Different ships have different matchups, and there's a gazillion of them. And even within certain ship classes, they all have their specialties, and yeah, it gets creative, to put it that way. So I had a lot to learn, and I wasn't really comfortable actually leading the fleets, but I did anyway. Had fun with it, people appreciated it, got good feedback, but it drained a lot of my energy. I put a lot of energy in, but it drained me. And especially the frustration of logging in an hour before the operation, trying to plan things out, and then have like one or two people show up, or none at all, or maybe one person who was just joining because least then someone would join. I don't know. The energy I put in and the satisfaction I got out of it wasn't in balance anymore. And in parallel to that, I was still trying to run this YouTube channel. So every day, my schedule would basically be, in the morning, get up, go to work, then after work, get back and quickly record a Path of Exile video or some other running series. Interesting looking sword. And then after quickly recording something, I would hop onto TeamSpeak and play with the Eve Corporation. Let's see, this one actually it looks nice, but it can go. And oftentimes that resulted in a lot of waiting and not really a lot of fun. And it's okay if that happens 1 or 2 nights, and then the third night you have an awesome evening. But if it just happens too often, it starts to stack. Then sooner or later you start questioning, why am I even doing this? And at some point, I had enough. The corporation was splintering further, falling apart, moving to a different space, and that's where I personally drew the line, like, hey, this is a very good opportunity to just step out and get some of my energy back, since I had just drained myself. So that explains parts of why I dropped some of the recordings in the last month, especially a week or 2 ago. I think during a 2-week period I recorded 7 videos. That's the height of it. So let's see. And besides that, I've been just looking for a good way to schedule my videos. That's also one of the things. So now currently I'm running on Path of Exile every other day. Then so that's every 2 days I run Path of Exile. Every 4 days I run an episode of Duskers. I'm still enjoying that one. I'm still looking forward to when the pattern of the game is going to change. Since this is my 3rd playthrough, it's the first one I'm recording, but I did 2 other playthroughs to basically form an opinion for my Let's Look At video, given that it was my first ever video where I got a review copy. So I wanted to do it good justice, because there was slightly more writing on it, so to say. At least I felt I needed to do a good job of judging it. And I had a lot of fun with it, and every game I've played through has been different. One of the game playthroughs was very stealthy, the other one was to a certain degree what I was doing now, as in more puzzle-like. But I was learning a lot still. And I noticed that in the last episode, I've recorded a couple of episodes already in advance, and there's going to be some interesting changes in there. Just some new mechanics that I haven't actually seen before. So the game is definitely progressing into a very interesting direction. And other slots, so I got every 2 days, that's Path of Exile, so that's half of the time. Then 1/4 of the time it's Duskers, and the other 1/4 of the time I fill with some Diablo content. I originally wanted to do a playthrough for The Witch that I'm actually doing now, The Witch Doctor. I wanted to do a full playthrough, but I figured Diablo 3 playthroughs, in all fairness, they're utterly boring. I don't really enjoy watching it or streaming it. It's because the gameplay itself the minute-to-minute gameplay. It's very grindy. It's not challenging. Ooh, goblin. So the gameplay is pretty grindy and repetitive, and the interesting part is in different builds, different skill combinations, and just testing yourself, pushing higher, greater rifts, and things like that. Let's see, where did the bugger go to? Somewhere over there, I think. Did he go out? Yeah, I killed it. Okay. I have my attention again. So the minute-to-minute gameplay, less satisfying. It's more about the bigger picture. So I figured I'd try a strategy game, a strategy guide or build guide format, and it was pretty darn well received. So I did a guide how to level a witch doctor on hardcore from basically level 12 to or from 0 to 70, providing some tips for the very early game. Then at level 12 you get Haunt. Then between 12 and level 23 you build up your full set of skills that you'll be using until level 70. Provide some hints on the passive skills that you'll be developing as you progress. And I recorded that when I had my character at level 40. At level 70 I did a retrospective, basically a state of the build at that point in time, with an outlook of things that I would potentially be developing, looking at sets and gear choices basically, because the character itself would no longer progress via leveling up, and Paragon levels are just stats, not really build changing or build defining. Let's get out of there. So I did a retrospective at 70, which was also very well received. It was even more popular in views-wise than the leveling up video. And earlier today I recorded a video at Paragon 74, 75. Basically Torment 4 doing a Greater Rift 20 with my current gear layout and all the considerations I have, things I have in mind. Just my usual pretty verbose, details focused, interactions focused explanation. It's not going to be for people who just quickly want to be told how to run the best build, because it's not the most efficient build. It's a hardcore build, it's a safe build, and as such safety is important, and I try to emphasize that. And given the popularity of my first two videos, I'm hoping this one is going to be going to get some attention as well, and that people will like it. So yeah, I think I've rolled into my niche, just found my voice, so to say, as a YouTube content creator. I still think that's a weird term, a YouTube content creator. I'm not a streamer because I don't stream. I make videos. I don't do streaming. That's basically because I don't have a regular schedule for what I do, and YouTube just allows me to do things whenever I want them to do, rather than being tied to a schedule, which I like. But yeah, I don't know. It's I can't really think of a better term either than a YouTube content creator, and the fact that a lot of people are going with it seems to suggest that no one else has found a better term so far. But still, I think it's a weird term. It seems very tied to the medium as well. Then again, YouTube is the only big name in the game, so to say, for let's plays and strategy guides and things like that. So let's see, I'll quickly alt top. Okay, so I'm 25 minutes into the recording. Let's see, anything else? So yeah, One other factor besides Eve, I've been ridiculously busy with work. I think with Eve I could still manage it a bit. Mostly record my content for YouTube before actually doing Eve. But don't think it's sometimes got into conflict, but not often. But the last 2 weeks I've been really busy with work and just working on a project that's basically I'm the lead developer on it. Most of the projects before we've always worked as a team. This is more or less my thing. So I'm taking all the responsibility for it as well, and as such I really want to do a good job. More so than on other things, because I really like this project. But there's so much that needs to happen still, so that I'm putting some extra time in it, which caused me to be just more exhausted than usual, and kind of skipped my summer vacation as well. So yeah, after Eve and now just being really busy with work and not having a real vacation, yeah, energy levels low. I don't always have time or energy to record a video. So I've been slacking a little bit, resulting in less videos than before. But this previous weekend, I had a nice weekend off. Went to a cabin in the woods with some friends and had a really good time. Just a lot of barbecue and hiking and stuff like that. That was very relaxing. Had the day off as well, so I spent most of the day just recording stuff. Because the rest of the week I'll be at a conference, so I don't actually have the opportunity to record anything. But I have enough content recorded now on Monday, so that there will be different content every day until Saturday. And since I return on Thursday, I should be able to pick up my recording again and hopefully get another gapless recording streak going. So yeah, I think that's the good catch up of the state of the channel up until now. Let's see, that's the exit there. So for the future, what am I planning to do? Currently I got Path of Exile still going. It's a hardcore series. It's the Tempest League. I have to say, Tempest League itself, it's a bit lackluster. It's not a really active element. There's rifts every once in a while with the Tempests, but they're not really adding a lot to the game. So yeah, it's just a hardcore playthrough basically. So I hope I'll survive Act 4 and make it to whatever's the equivalent of Nightmare difficulty. I always forget. They got Merciless and they got another one. Whatever, we'll see. I hope I'll make it, and I might, if I'm at that point I'm still enjoying the build, I might even play through until the character dies, or until I get bored. That's Path of Exile. I've tried to at least play through the entire game, so you can see the entire story. Also, in previous playthroughs, that was because they expanded the story with the expansion, of course. But most of the time, I don't play after reaching the second difficulty, just because I want to do something else. Get all kinds of ideas for other things, or I just want to play other games, or keep the content on my channel a bit varied. Keep some variety in it, I don't know. Pronunciation, it's hard. And there's a goblin here that needs to die. Insufferable miscreants. Okay, might not be the wisest of moves. Vault Peon, that's even better. Okay, this is getting crazy here. Yeah, so I was talking Path of Exile. Yes. Maybe I should have recorded it and did a voiceover, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I tried installing Adobe Premiere. I got confused by all the options and it didn't seem intuitive. And I didn't have the time or energy to follow a course or read a book or something or watch some videos on how to use it. So for now I'm just going without editing, as I've been doing before, or all this time. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go back to Path of Exile. So yeah, that series is probably gonna last for a bit. I think I'm just gonna try to keep one ongoing series for an action RPG at any time. Besides that, I want to do some kind of simulation thing. Currently I've got Duskers as the odd thing, so to say. It's not quite a simulation, it's not quite a puzzle game, it's not quite a strategy game, it's somewhere, it's not quite a roguelike. It's all and nothing all at the same time. It's hard to pin down, but it's not an action RPG. That's basically the main criterion. Before that I had TIS 100. I still need to go back to it and just record some episodes. I think I got some vague plans to maybe record something next weekend when I'm back from the conference. But I'll see what I do with that. Thing is, Path of Exile I can just log in and record. And I know the recording is going to take 20 to 30 minutes. Then it's going to be 10 to 20 minutes of coming up with a descriptions, fixing the tags, making an image, things like that, recording it. So within an hour I can have go basically from just starting my computer to having a video that's being processed by YouTube and scheduled for publishing at a later time when YouTube has actually fully processed the video. With TS 100, that's less the case. It's very, very much a puzzle solving, programming thing. Do that the entire day. It's more open-ended in terms of time commitment. It could be that I am lucky and that I can just record for 20 minutes to half an hour and then do my usual thing and basically I'm done within an hour. But it's also possible that I get stumped, don't find a solution or not a solution I'm happy with, or I get something working but I can't find something optimal and I might spend 3 hours on it. And if I was planning on just doing a single hour and I end up spending 3 hours, then not too happy with that either. So yeah, it requires a bit more of a commitment and it's less. Yeah, and if I'm slightly tired or just not feeling up to it, it's not a game to play. It's requires a specific conditions. So I've been just slowly releasing videos over time. It's also from the view counts on those videos have also gone down. So I'm assuming people have gotten slightly bored with that game as well. I think my bags are full. Let's see. So, and if no one is watching the videos, then I can record them for my own entertainment. But if I'm also no longer really psyched about playing the game, then it's better to just slowly let it go. Let's see, what do we get? So that's the state of TS 100. It's on a very slow burner. I might record 1 or 2 more episodes, but I don't think I'm ever gonna finish all the videos. Ooh, that's a win. Slightly distracted by finding new things. This is interesting as well, if I ever go with Argear set. Okay, cool. So, store this, melt the rest. So, let's see, other things. Let's see, I've addressed Path of Exile, Duskers. Diablo, yeah, probably one more strategy gate. If I manage to make it to, I don't know, this means I'm Torment 4 now. I really need to up my gear to get to Torment 5, and after that I need to up it even further to get to Torment 6. So that's gonna be a slow journey. And once I start getting the set bonuses completed, then the build's not gonna change a lot anymore. So my current state of the build is very strong foreshadowing of what the final build is going to come. I'm not expecting surprises. Then again, how do you ever actually expect surprises? There's the trade-off. So that part of the series is gonna drop away as well. Duskers, I'm gonna play through until I die, basically, or get bored. Which, as I said, I get bored once I figure out the game. The fact that the game is still under active development and continually keeps adding new things, I'm happy with that. For me, that keeps it interesting. Once it becomes too repetitive, I might just declare an ending. So, yeah, the current pace of 1 to 2 episodes per week gives the developer enough time to build new things, so I actually stay engaged with the game. No means criticism of the game, it's more or less a reflection of me as a game player. I get bored of things. Speaking of getting bored, Factorio. I love that game, I really do. But I've been playing it since the 0.5 build they released when they launched it on Indiegogo in 2013. I think it was 2013, so that's over 2 years ago. I have played every build of the game since, and I've gotten burned out. I started every major new release, so 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 0.10, 0.11, and now 0.12. I started a new factory. I think up till 0.8 I played through all of them till I had all the tech unlocked. After that, I think I skipped 0.9 with full completion. I think I may have even just picked up the 0.8 factory and just played around with it for a bit. I think 0.10 I actually did a full playthrough again. 0.11 I tried. I think 0.11 is when I started with my YouTube back in January. And I think I recorded 4 episodes before I got bored. That early game, just setting up and slogging through. I've done it so often. Right now I'm just too burned out on that to go through that again. So I'm just holding that off on a distance. Rimworld I have in a similar state. I think I also bought that over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. 0.7, 0.8, Alpha 9, 8 or 9, just it's a while ago. Played through multiple playthroughs. I don't think I've ever actually finished the game. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever actually built a spaceship and launched my people into space. Most of the time I either gotten horribly massacred because I was playing on a difficulty that was too high, or I just lost interest. Then the difficulty was comfortably low. I had a sprawling base and I don't know. Usually that's probably the time when a new major update got released or an incompatible patch got released, or I figured like, yeah, no, let's play with mods. So I never actually finished a game with that. Or the one time I actually did a playthrough for Alpha 11 I chose the difficulty level too high. I picked a non-mountainous terrain, so I basically had my base in the middle of a swamp. And I got horribly, horribly massacred. Latest update 0.12, they have animal taming. I mean, I really want to start a squirrel farm or something, but at the moment I just can't find the energy to start a series for that. I'm on the border of being burned out as well, so I need to give it more time so that when I do return to the game, it's fresh and interesting again. And that's, I'm discovering, is the biggest downside of early access games or getting into alpha or beta of a game. You play the game so much in unpolished state. You get a lot of enjoyment out of it. You support the developer tremendously with the feedback and the early monetary support. But for me, as a gamer who gets bored after figuring out how a game works, that might not be the best of choices. Because if you've played a game, then why go through it again and again and again with slightly changed versions with updates that add one or two features, when you could also be playing a completely different game that's all fresh and new. So yeah, that's for me, that stays an interesting thing to balance. It's also one of the reasons Path of Exile keeps changing often enough that it's interesting to just do a full playthrough, or at least a playthrough to the end, to experience all the new things and then hop over to something else. And then a month or two later, come back to Path of Exile, play a different character, experience new features, play a new league, do something else, just to keep things interesting. Path of Exile is doing a really, really good job with that. Diablo, with the seasons, every 3 to 4 months, having something different. Let's see, just do another rift. Might be talking more. Now doing a season every 3 to 4 months with some new items, a major new patch. That it seems to work as well. Though this game is just way more repetitive. It's a numbers game. It really is. Yeah, I keep saying Path of Exile is the hardcore action RPG. Diablo 3 is the bastard child of World of Warcraft and Diablo 2. It's not the true successor to the title. It's a very enjoyable game, but it feels less deep because there's so much emphasis on numbers. And quirky builds, there's less room for them if numbers just dominate. And every patch, every time they make changes to the set builds, the numbers get more ridiculous. Currently with this build, the numbers are just crazy. L2 set numbers are crazy. I can't say anything else about it. It's just crazy. Though I'm happy that the build is enjoyable and hardcore safe. But yeah, it's a far cry from the Diablo 2 I played for over a decade, where you could basically play nude characters that had no gear at all and still manage to defeat the end boss at the highest difficulty, because picking your skills was more important than getting the appropriate loot. And to a certain degree, Path of Exile also depends on getting decent gear. It's not gear independent, even if it's just because your skills are literally socketed into your gear and you need sockets to actually get skills. But also in terms of just getting your life pool up, your resists up, some health regen, some armor, some dodging, all that stuff. You need it. To a lesser degree, I think, than in Diablo 3. But at the same time, you do need it. And some bosses, they really are gated by how much resistances you have for certain elements. for most builds that need to tank the damage. So there is another action RPG, Grim Dawn. It's the spiritual successor to Titan Quest. Same developer, same engine. And that's interesting. It's a different school. There's different mechanics. It's something else. It's also a game that, I don't know, before they even did a Kickstarter, they actually ran a crowdfunding campaign of their own on their own website. It's similar to what Prison Architect did. Just community funded development. I got in on that one really early. Later on found out they actually did a Kickstarter, and yeah, basically all that community support has allowed them to develop the game into what they currently have. They got 4 acts. They are, I think, 26 or 27 major content updates in. They got 7 or so classes. There's multi-classing in the game. There's a whole bunch of content. And I'm really happy for them that they managed to get it this far. But due to what I said before about getting burned out on games pretty quickly, I haven't started on it yet. Because I figured there's... I figured there's other action RPGs that I'm currently playing. And the longer I wait with doing a full playthrough of Grim Dawn, the more content there's going to be. And also the more balance is probably going to be, which is also a good thing. Let's see, a unique ring. What's in here? Justice Lantern. Stats, 16% chance to block. That's something that my Crusader probably wants. Or my melee wizard. Back to Grim Dawn. So, Grim Dawn, I think I did a Twitch stream of it before, just playing through it for a bit, streaming it. I played some offline as well, of course, just a couple of quick playthroughs. It's interesting. It's different. I played Titan Quest quite a bit. I read a lot of the forums as well, figured out the mechanics. It's based on Titan Quest, but it does have a lot of its own mechanics as well. So it's interesting to discover that. I haven't discovered enough yet that I know completely what I'm getting into and how to gear up, but I do know that some of the boss encounters can be pretty hard. So getting a safe hardcore character is probably going to be very important. I do want to play that game on hardcore, just to up the challenge level and keep it interesting. Because that's going to be something different from just a playthrough of the game's content. Well, in the same vein, because I'm less experienced with the game, I might die at the first major act boss or something like that. So that's going to be interesting. But that's probably going to be a couple of months down the road. Besides that, is there anything else I got in the pipeline? I bought a whole bunch of games on Steam sales over time that I can probably just pick up as one-offs or maybe as short series. There's a lot of games I still want to figure out, and it's nice to just play the game as hey, let's look at this, and then just go through, just discovering my way through. And if it's interesting, I'll post a video. If I get bored, I don't. That's a nice way of not actually streaming. There's no audience, no pressure. can just do whatever I want. Since my rule for the channel is I don't post content for games I don't enjoy. So everything you see here is basically an endorsement that I enjoy the game. And if you have a similar taste in games, you're probably going to enjoy it as well. And I try to share my enthusiasm for the games by playing them. And just going into the mechanics and just doing my thing. Another game I'm actually pretty excited about and pretty disappointed I can't get early access to is Grand Ages Medieval. It seems like all the big streamers I follow, so that's Quill18, Roomba, they all got access. Because that's kind of the genres they play a lot. Though I don't think Aruma played it a lot. He in his first impressions, he didn't seem like he was a big fan of the series. Didn't sound like he played a lot of Patrician, Port Royal, Rise of Venice, and so forth. He just knew the games, maybe even just from a summary. Quill, I think he's actually played the games before on his channel. He seemed more knowledgeable about them. I think he actually covered Rise of Venice as well a couple of years back. I've played all the Patrician games since Patrician 3. So 3, 4 and Rise of Venice, which basically I consider to be Patrician 5. Even though it has a different setting and thus a different name. They're all trade simulation games. Low on strategy, no war, it's all building a trade empire. Rise of Venice has a bit more emphasis on ship-to-ship combat. Piracy is a bigger problem. And the rivalry between Venice and Genoa plays a pretty big part in the storyline. And Grand Ages Medieval seems to focus itself on Constantinople, so it shifts slightly more towards the east. And it has more focus on actual empire building rather than just building an economic imperium. So I'm curious to see where that's going. So I'll be playing the hell out of that one when it gets released next week, Friday. And there will be videos. Let's see. Anything else? So yeah, that's going to be the foreseen future. Path of Exile will shift into Grim Dawn. Then the Duskers and Diablo 3 will shift over into Grand Ages Medieval. And I'll play the odd game in between and then I'll see. Reassembly I might get back to, not quite sure. Didn't seem that popular, so I think the 2 or 3 playthroughs I've done are probably enough. Don't want to bore people. And to be honest, I've seen most of the game as well. So I'm not sure, unless I get a really weird idea of just doing a playthrough with a twist that I want to check out. I don't think there's going to be another viable playthrough actually. So yes, this is just also a demonstration of how I work. I think things through out loud. So I might have an idea and then I come up with ideas why that idea might not be so good, and then I discard the idea as a result. Also very useful with all the theory crafting for builds and such, only to go completely the other direction the next episode, or maybe even in the very same episode, because I get more data or just get distracted again with, ooh, shiny. On the other hand, for you as the viewer, that might result in something that's less predictable, more engaging. I don't know. Maybe you just think it's weird. I don't know. I'm having fun and people are watching, so I'm assuming people like it. Which I think that's the oddest thing about this whole YouTube thing. I'm just playing my games and just sharing my passion for the games. And thousands of people watch it. I mean, I got tens of thousands of views. I think by now, if you count up all the minutes of video people have watched, it's days, weeks even of people's lives spent watching video I created. It's a very odd odd thing. I don't know. I hadn't ever expected to be in a position like this. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's an interesting opportunity. And I think I'm now actually just starting to ramble and become less coherent than I usually am. But I'm almost at the boss, almost at an hour as well actually. So, let's see, can we get to the boss in about 3.5 minutes to keep it under an hour? We'll see. Would be a nice length of time. Ooh, big bug. So, is there anything else? Oh, there's something green dropped. That might be the next bit of a set. I want it. I has it. Anything else? Anything else? No, I think I'm really out of stuff. So I just gotta continue my playthrough. If something pops up, I might speak up again. Otherwise, content-wise, this is it. And I really am gonna play through till I kill the boss, because I know some of you are probably just actually curious to see what boss is gonna spawn, and you'll end up with a itchy feeling of incompleteness if I leave you dangling with the bar filled at 91%. I know I probably would have, so that's why I'm gonna continue. So, other things. Let's see, on the MMO department, still not a lot. No, what was this? What was it? Damn, I forgot the name. Something scheduled for 2016 that looked pretty over the top in a way, like, hey, I really want to check it out. It's basically an MMO that seemed to combine everything that all other MMOs have done before, but in a grander, more over the top way. I can't even think of the name. Though, probably not gonna cover that on the channel, because MMOs, multiplayer games, I play with friends. And when I'm playing with friends, I don't record. Because you do have a different dynamic when, you know, whatever you're saying is potentially broadcast up to dozens, thousands, millions of people if you're really going viral with stuff you don't expect to go viral, so to say. So yeah, I try to keep my social gaming and my YouTube gaming separate. So far I'm managing that pretty well. Let's see, Death Breath, that should be useful to pick up. And then, of course, all the monsters come swarming in. Okay, they just keep coming. I'm gonna port back. So that was it for this this video log. Let me know what you think, and yeah, I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.